This is Bucket Talk, a weekly podcast for people who work in the trades and construction that aren't just trying to survive, but have the ambition and desire to thrive. The opportunity in the trades and construction is absolutely ridiculous right now. So if you're hungry, it's time to eat. We discuss what it takes to rise from the bottom to the top with people who are well on their way and roll up their sleeves every single day.
All right. On this episode of Bucket Talk, we have an awesome guest. Austin Richardson is one of our bull riders. Has been with us for a little bit now. Austin, welcome to the show.
I appreciate y'all having me.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. I am pumped to have you on. You've been riding with us for a little while now, and good guy to hang out with. I know we got to play a little cards at the casino and mix it up out there, but I wanted to give a little background on who you are, your upbringing, your before the whole PBR thing. So kind of dive into where how you got into the industry, what you were doing from childhood all the way up to now.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I mean, when I was a little kid, I raced mostly dirt bikes when I was younger. Kind of worked my way up through that. My whole family raced dirt bikes and jet skis and stuff. And just right when I turned about, 12 or 13, a couple of my buddies got me into bull riding, and it kind of just jumped from there. Did pretty good my first couple of rides, and started going to some junior rodeos and stuff like that, and won me like $75, and it kind of had me hooked there. But no, Guillermo Marchi, he was a PBR world champion. He lived 2 miles from me as soon as he came from the United States. So he's always kind of been in my eye right there. And just watching him grow up, and that kind of, I can say that kind of made me like choose PBR over like PRCA or any other rodeo association. I wanted to be where the best bull riders were at, and just kind of worked my way up from open bull ridings to junior high and high school and stuff like that. And as soon as I was 18, I bought my PBR card and kind of had a pretty good start. I went to my first World Finals in 2019, and it just kind of kicked off from there. And now I'm here and 24 years old, and I've had a pretty great year this past year, and I'm sitting 7th right now. I know I'm not going to be able to ride in the World Finals coming up here in just a week or so, but man, I feel great, and I feel awesome about where my career has taken me for sure.
Dude, I want to dive into the early childhood, but like what some of our listeners may not know, you're sitting 7th right now, and you haven't ridden in months.
Yeah, I think it's been a little over 3 months.
3 months. So 3 months ago, you got hurt, ended the season, but you were number 1 in the world at the time, and you were on fire. You won in Albany, you won in Madison Square Garden. You did well in I think in New Hampshire. Like you were man on fire. So you actually extended the lead so much in the early part of the season that it's carried you all the way through to 7th in the world right now. We got World Finals coming up in what, a week and a half?
Yeah.
So that's crazy.
And I can't complain about the season I did have. I mean, I had an outstanding season, won a couple of events, top 10 finishes, and to be sitting 7th in the world and not even going in the World Finals and riding for 3 months, I mean, that's a pretty good season, I could say. I mean, I wish I was riding right there with all those guys. I mean, that's what we wish for, is at the end of the year being at the World Finals. But no, I'm grateful for the season I did have, for sure.
Totally. And, it was exciting for us. Still is exciting. I mean, you're in your prime. Obviously had a little bump in the road, but this is not the end of you. You're going to come out bigger, better, faster, stronger. You're going into teams healthy. So
yes,
that'll be crazy. But that's crazy how you kind of glossed over the fact that your buddies just said, "Hey, come over and ride bulls." Like, how old were you at the time when you were just like, "Fuck it, I'll do it"?
Yeah, I mean, when I was younger, I got on a few sheep. Like my family, they weren't cowboys, but we were farmers and stuff like that. We had horses and everything. But I got on a few sheep, maybe a few calves. But it really kicked off when a couple of my buddies got into it. Mason Taylor, Zach Laney, a couple of them guys. Mason Taylor, he rides in the PBR, but Man, just one day just got up and we started riding bulls and actually taking it serious, putting the practice in. But man, it wasn't no real thought at the time when I was that young, being in the PBR and continuing or being able to ride for a world title and stuff like that. Never thought about it that way, but once I started kind of getting older, I mean, I could kind of see a picture of me up there, and it just kind of worked out the way it did.
That's crazy. So I learned a term the other day, and I know a lot of farmers and ranchers be like, "How the hell does he not know this term?" But it's funny. I didn't know. Like, I knew that kids rode sheep, but I didn't know the sport was called mutton
Yeah,
busting.
mud bug.
Is it mutton busting? Yeah, and so it was funny. My son just went down to the Houston rodeo. He wanted to see Jelly Roll. Like, it was like he's 7 years old. He's like, I'm going. I want to go.
That's awesome.
So we got him tickets, but he was down there watching all that and was really pumped up about that. So you started off in sheep before you moved up to calves and bulls.
Yeah. I feel like every kid. I feel like every kid needs to try mutton busting at least once or twice. I mean, yeah, I feel like that's a must. But no, yeah, I just started with sheep riding and then kind of gradually got my way up. But I don't really remember even getting on the sheep. But I have a couple of trophies when I was a kid riding sheep. But
that's crazy. So, junior high, high school, you're doing this, on a regional level, I would
yes,
say.
sir. Yeah,
Right.
Yeah. There's regions.
And then
There's regions all over.
Yeah, go ahead.
All over Texas.
Yep.
Even all through the United States, and they have so I used to ride in Region 4, which is about an hour from my house. So they have like 10 different regions in Texas, and then they take the top 4 from and those guys from each event to state finals, and then state finals to national finals. I think it's somewhere in Wyoming or something like that. I never made it that far, but yeah, they have a pretty good lineup going through there. You'll see a bunch of world champions go through that region high school finals deal.
That's crazy. So, at what was the turning point? Like, when did you know that, like, not only this is what I want to do professionally, but this is what I'm set out to do. Like, this is my calling. Like, when was that turning point for you?
Yeah, when I was about 16 or 17, I started getting on some rancher bulls and like bulls that were in the PBR already, and to be able to cover those bulls in the practice spin or an open bull riding like that just boosted your confidence like no other. It did for sure for me, and I kind of knew like I was getting really good at it, and I knew I could have a career at it. So just as soon as I turned 18, I wanted to go pro and try my luck. And my second velocity I ever went to, or my first velocity, I took second place, and that boosted my confidence and just going on from there. But man, just riding those ranked bulls that you see guys get on when you're a young kid and you're covering them now, that really like set the tone for me, and just I knew all I had to do is believe in myself and keep going. But man, it's crazy just where it is came from, like where I'm at now, and looking back at that, it's really crazy.
So you got into the PBR in what, 2019? Was that
18? In
okay?
2018, I went to my first couple touring pro. So it goes touring pro, velocity, and then UTB series, and I did well. My first touring pros, and then my first velocity, I took second, and then I was able to actually the next following week I went to my first UTB in Billings, Montana. I didn't do any good there, and then kind of after that I struggled for a little bit, and in 2019 kind of got a turnaround and won my first velocity and got on the UTB season and went to the velocity finals, took second there, qualified for the world finals, and didn't do great at the World Finals in 2019, but I was just blessed to be there. I got on some of the rankest bulls going that week. I felt like I drew pretty deep, but no, it was a great learning experience for sure, especially in my younger age and taking that from then to now.
Yeah, so you're 24 now. So you were in around 17, 18 when you entered the PBR.
Yeah.
Is that like, were you the youngest to ever do it? Is this kind of the norm? Or
That's a normal thing. Like the kid John Creamber, and there's a couple other kids that are 18. Caden Loud. I mean that's kind of a normal deal. As soon as you turn 18, just take your shot and go. But most kids kind of struggle at the beginning of the years. There's a few kids that shoot like superstars, like that John Creamber. He's 18, and I mean him and Caden Loud are killing it out there right now. And some guys aren't when they turn 18. They're not as that good and have that like perfect set of year or that perfect year to be able to shoot up like that. But no, it's a normal thing for sure for younger guys to start up in the PBR.
it's kind of interesting too, because for as brutal of a sport as it is on your body, you guys seem to cover a pretty big spread of, the age range
Yeah.
varies from young all the way up to 40. And I think somebody recently, there was an older bull rider that got out there, and he was in his like late 40s. I think he was like a world champion at
Yeah.
some point in time.
Ejene,
Yeah.
yeah. I think
So
he is the oldest guy to qualify to the World Finals.
that's
And
crazy.
what's crazy is when he won the World Finals, I was 2 years old. He won it in 2002, and I was born in 2000, and so that's just crazy. When he was riding against me, and he's already been riding since I was born.
Right. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and a lot of people don't realize that you guys are a pretty tight-knit group. Um, I know we just moved into teams, which, up until like a couple of years ago, you guys were riding for yourselves or for your sponsors individually. But what I didn't know prior to getting into the sport was, for the most part, I'm sure there's some personalities you may or may not get along
Yeah.
with, in the locker room. But that being said, you guys almost travel and train as a team.
Oh yeah.
And it's pretty cool that like when we met the bull riders originally, we'd go out with other bull riders from different sponsors, from different teams, if you will, because
Yeah.
there's a lot of companies out there that put together, a whole group of bull riders. But you guys travel together, you guys work out together, you guys eat together. It is so take me through that whole thing. Um, like who's your training partner? Do you guys like how often do you guys see each other? Are
Yeah.
you guys like just straight through the season and then you guys go off on your own, or is it 365? You're just hanging out with these dudes?
No, I like to say it's 365. I mean, there's a couple of us that don't live close to each other, but most of us on the tour, we're all family. Like we all help each other out. There's not like no conflict between each other. I mean, yeah, like you said, there's some personalities that some people don't like to hang out with or whatever. There's kind of your little groups, but most of everybody helps everybody. And I mean, dude, there's no really any kind of conflict. Like we're always there for each other, whatever. Me and Mason Taylor, we live like 10 minutes away, so we're always hanging out or whatever. But Dalton Castle and Caden Loud,
Yep.
we all hang out together, and we're kind of a family. Like before it was the team deals, we were already like a team. Like we all travel together. Most of us like to stay together, and because it makes it more fun or whatever. But no, we're all friends. I grew up with most of the riders: Boudreaux, uh, Dalton, Mason, and Dalen. All them guys. Eli. Shoot, we've known each other for a long time, and man, and it helps out for sure having buddies there. Even when you're down, and they're doing good, like they always everybody's there to help us.
Now, when I did the podcast with Eli a couple seasons back, we kind of got into the whole bull versus rider aspect. Like there's two sides of the coin here. There's just enough there's just the same amount of people that are there and in it for the bulls,
Yeah.
and the care and the consideration that goes into them as athletes,
Yeah.
is huge. And then obviously there's the rider side. But what I thought was interesting is that, like, obviously the bulls win prizes as well. There's competition among bull breeders and ranches and stuff like that. Have you ever thought about if you do, please elaborate. But like, have you ever thought about owning a bull or working that side of the PBR, or has it just strictly been a rider and that's where your focus is?
Yeah, I mean, I've owned a few bulls for sure. I don't think that's my cup of tea. Owning a bunch of bucking bulls, it's a lot to take care of, and man, I would rather just worry about me and worry about my career and stuff like that. But man, I give all the round of applause to those guys that take care of them bulls, because I mean that's a 24/7 job, especially traveling them from city to city and make sure those bulls stay the same weight. And man, them bulls get taken care of so well, and it's outstanding the job that they do. But no, I don't see myself getting off into the bull business. It's fun to own some bulls, but it is a full time job, and man, it is crazy how some of them bulls are getting so ranked. Like us bull riders, we're not generating like that. Them bulls are getting so ranked, and it's I see a new video every day of a new bull coming around, like a young 2-year-old bull that's bucking its ass off. Like it's insane for what they're coming from.
So the lines run deep, the bloodlines run deep.
Oh yeah, I think like you can go down on ABBI website to like 5 generations or something like that. Like it's insane. Like they have big bull competitions with the 2-year-olds and the dummies and the yearling bulls and stuff like that. And that's where most of the PBR bulls come from is the ABBI, and they just kind of work their way up, just like us riders coming to the touring pro to velocity tours, and they have to work their way up. But man, it is crazy how outstanding them bulls are getting for sure.
Now, last weekend, I know for people that this will be airing later, they'll be like, "What the hell?" But last weekend was the Kentucky Derby, and obviously they talk about um, you know the the stud fees and
Yeah.
the bloodlines and how much a horse costs. Would you guys compare? I mean, not the way they compare it, but would you guys compare yourself to that? Like, there's some $1 million bulls out
Oh
there.
yeah, for dang sure. There's bulls that get they get they get their sperm collected, they lease them out or whatever. Like I'm pretty sure HD he has so many bulls going out all over the country to get used for breeding. Like the lines that they have, like that is what they try to do is try to line up the right female with the male, and it's just crazy the genetics going in on these bulls. Like the bull legend or flying wire like that. That's insane. Those bulls bucking like that, and they wouldn't just do that. They wouldn't do that if they didn't want to. And it's just crazy how they want to do it and how they do it.
Now, you guys don't really have any training centers per se, like you would think of like the Patriots or the Red Sox or
Yeah,
whatever. They have their, spring training camp, stuff like that. A lot of you guys uh get together and share equipment or, go to each other's ranches and stuff like that.
yeah.
How do you guys get bulls there? Now, do you lease them from other people to practice on? Do you guys normally have your own bulls that you have, just kicking around? How does that all work?
Yeah, so I have a group of friends that own bulls. Mason Taylor owns bulls. My buddy Maverick Potter, that they have a bunch of bulls that in the location I'm at. But man, if most of them contractors want to get their bulls bucked, so if we holler at them to bring some bulls over because we're wanting to get on practice, they'll be more than welcome to bring their bulls over and let us get on. But no, most training we get on just easy practice bulls if we're trying to get something right. Just kind of work on something. We don't want to get on nothing too ranked. And if you're feeling yourself and you want to get on something pretty super ranked in the practice pen, you can do that as well. But we just try to get on just easy bulls that we know we can work on or whatever, work on ourselves, just get timing right. They're not mean or nothing. They're just easy going bulls, and that's how we try to practice on them.
Yeah, so technique, how the bull bucks, everything like that. I think for the layman when you go to your first bull riding experience or your first rodeo, um it kind of looks like you're just hanging on for dear life. You make 8 seconds.
Yeah,
Like that's good. But then there's the whole point system and a lot of people don't realize it, but there's 100 points overall, 50 go to the bull, 50 go to the rider.
exactly.
And walk me through some of the ways you can get more points as a rider, because it's not just holding on for dear
Yeah,
life. It is their style. Yeah, go ahead, kick it off.
yeah. man, it's really about just staying in the middle and try to keep your free arm as controlled as you can. If you're staying in the middle of that bull and he's doing everything to buck you off, they're going to score you over the bull for sure. And sometimes when you're hanging off the side of the bull and just like you said, hanging on for dear life, that's when they're going to mark the bull over you. You didn't do that great of a job. The bull was kind of winning the situation, but no, you can spur as well if you're spurring the bull and just knocking that bull with ease. That's you're for sure gonna get marked over him for sure. And
Cool.
I'm pretty sure my highest score on a bull, I think I was like you said, 50 goes to the rider, 50 goes to the bull. I think I've been marked like 47 and 3/4, and that was probably my highest one. I think.
Dude, that's crazy. And usually when the rider has a higher point, then obviously the bull is going to be up there as well.
Yeah, it just depends if the it can go either way. If the bull's really easy and you're just dominating them, you're gonna be over them. But say there's a real ranked one and you ride the crap out of them with ease, I feel like both y'all scores are gonna be kind of maybe a point, maybe a half a point difference. The bull might win or the rider might win in the point system, but it most of the time that guys get scored over a bull is when it's a little bit easier for them and they're just dominating the ride. But
Awesome. Yeah, no, it's when I learned that aspect of it, it brought like a whole nother level of understanding,
yeah,
and it was pretty cool to watch. And now you're trying to analyze rides like as if I was ever gonna be able to ride a fucking bull. But it's pretty cool because then you get to start to see some trends, some patterns,
yeah,
strategy. But it's been pretty crazy. I gotta ask you, because I didn't ask Eli. Now I know with like the sport of hockey and other sports, like a lot of guys take the half shield or no shield for, especially in hockey, is like, um, this is my expression. This is, I'm not gonna wear a full face shield.
yeah.
Like, I'm tough. I'm gritty. Like this is the way it's always been. Why are there still guys in cowboy hats and not helmets in the PBR?
Yeah, so there's an age difference. So if I forgot the year that you're not allowed to wear a hat anymore. But there is a year set where so eventually every rider will have to ride in a helmet. So
Oh,
some of
interesting.
them older guys are grandfathered in to be able to ride with a hat, and some of us younger guys we didn't have the chance to be able to do that. But uh, I've always worn with a helmet, and I always will. I don't ever want to take a chance like that. I mean, I am a tough guy, and I can take a shot, but I will always wear a helmet for sure. I honestly don't see how those guys ride without a helmet. But like I said, they're the older generation, and they kind of grew up that way, and some people don't really like to change the way they grew up riding in a helmet or a hat. It kind of messes with them. But
I mean,
uh,
because we were in New Hampshire and we saw, I mean, obviously, like there is kind of a difference between, banging your face off the back of a bull versus getting stepped on by a bull. And Casey got his head stepped on by a bull,
yes, that was scary.
and super fortunate to wear a helmet, super fortunate to walk
Yeah,
away.
yeah.
And I mean, I couldn't understand at this point, at this day in the game, that there's still guys out there that are crazy enough to just wear a hat.
Yeah, I give it to them. They got some balls for sure doing that. There's some moments I got a helmet on and I get kind of scared a little bit, but yeah, that trip with Casey, that was a scary deal. Good thing you had that helmet on and like you said was
Totally.
able to walk away. That
I
was
mean,
pretty scary.
the replay was insane because
Yeah,
you saw the whole helmet flex and everything, and it was like, holy shit. And he stood up and he got, I mean, obviously he was banged up, but
yeah,
yeah, I mean, it's the technology nowadays. You guys wear the vests and everything, the chest protectors, and
yeah.
um definitely a whole different ball game. Is there any more safety features that they could possibly bring on, or?
Um, Not that I can think of. I'm pretty sure we got pretty much everything that we could use.
Yeah.
But I mean, some guys wear shin guards, stuff like that, paddings around their thighs and stuff. But I try to stay light as possible. So I mean, I'll have most of the gear: chaps, vest, helmet, glove, and boots. And I try to keep it as light as possible. There's some guys that put on a bunch of padding, but it is kind of just however you feel about it. But
Nice. So obviously you're in your prime. You're in the start of your prime, to be honest with you,
yeah,
and you got some years ahead of you. But I always like to do this exercise. What's in your head? Like where are you going after bull riding? Is it coaching teams? Is it management? Is it running a ranch or even a school or something like that?
yeah.
What's your end game? What's your goal?
Uh, I mean, I've always just wanted to kind of own a business. I mean, I don't really know where life's going to take me after bull riding. I mean, that's a long ways. I've never really thought about it, but I've always wanted to own a business and just kind of chillax and have a lake house or something like that. Just something small. I don't want no big land or taking care of a ranch or anything. But no, if teams came in my eyes where I could be a coach for that would be awesome. I'd love to stay around bull riding for sure. But I haven't really thought about that far. I mean, my goal set right now is to become a world champion and hopefully win a couple team championships for sure, and just staying consistent most of my career. And man, when I get done with bull riding, I think I'm gonna hate it a little bit sitting around the house. I'm always traveling and going to nice places and stuff like that. But no, just kind of keeping it easy after I retire and just chill out on the lake and hopefully run kind of a small business that takes care of me and my family. And that'd be about it. I'll be happy with that for sure.
You back? There you go. You're
There you
good.
go. Yeah, kind of cut out for a second.
Um, so to the teams aspect, I know we've been talking about it, but really haven't dove into that. Um, Kind of been a big deal recently. Um, they just added two new teams to the team circuit, the Wildcatters and something out of New York. I forget what that team is, but is it getting more and more exciting in the teams? Is it starting to come together and making sense? I know the first couple of years it was a little confusing. It's
Yeah,
different out of the norm, but now is it because I mean you guys got a draft now?
yeah.
Um, you guys brought on JB Mooney as a coach for the Wildcatters. I mean, you're seeing some big people come back to the sport and helping out in a real way. Um, what's good there?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's bringing a lot more people, a lot more eyes to the sport for sure. But I think it's great for us bull riders. We've always have to ride and travel and pay for our own expenses and counting on the ride bulls and now we have a team to kind of have our backs and be able to have everything, all the support that we need. So all we have to do is worry about bull riding. I think it's really great for the industry for sure. It's bringing a lot more people into the looks of bull riding and seeing how it works and I was with the Austin Gamblers and I got traded just a few weeks ago in the draft with the to the Wildcatters. That's pretty exciting, especially to be with JB Mooney and how to work with him and how he rode bulls and kind of his mindset about it. And I think it's bringing a great deal for most of us bull riders to be able to kind of hang out with the older generation that kind of started bull riding and stuff like that.
Well, it's kind of interesting too because I forget JB's kid's name, but that kid is going to be a monster when he gets older. I think he's like 4 or 5 now or something like that, but
Yeah,
he's already riding sheep. I mean,
yeah.
I'm surprised he doesn't have a Marlboro Light hanging out of his mouth.
Yeah, he's a wild little shit, isn't he? He's good stuff. Uh,
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Well, it's great to look into bull riding. As much as we get to support you, you guys have been amazing to us. It's been a hell of a ride with you guys. You guys are amazing people to hang out with. Down to earth, like bull riding is truly a brotherhood, not to take from any other sports, but I
Yeah.
mean, you guys are driving cross country sometimes in like beat up old RVs and stuff. It's not like
Yeah.
you guys are hopping on a private jet going from place to
Yeah.
place. Like it's shacking up at other people's houses, at family
Yeah.
and team dinners. I even see wives and kids in the stands. They're all playing together and stuff. So it's
Exactly.
truly a very inclusive sport, from the spectator all the way to the people that work it, to the athletes. Nobody seems to be above it, which is kind of refreshing nowadays. You bump into the riders in the hallway, they'll stop and they'll talk to you, and
Yeah.
pretty cool sport to be a part of. And you guys have been killer, and honestly, I wanted to thank you for being on the show. But before we leave, give you an opportunity to shout anybody out, where they can find you if they want to talk about bull riding, or even just follow you in the circuit. Floor is yours.
Heck yeah. I just want to thank mostly y'all, the Brunt. I mean, uh, our sponsors that we get to have throughout the year, that if we're not riding or if we're struggling, whatever, y'all are there taking care of us and having our backs for sure. And like you said, y'all are down to earth as well. Like, we can call y'all for anything, but I want to say thank y'all for that very much too. And the PBR and all the fans and friends and family and everybody there that support us as well. And if you want to holler at me at bull riding and have any questions, you can hit me up on my IG, Austin Richardson at 22, and that y'all, if y'all have any questions, I'll be more than happy to ask on there. But I just want to say a big thanks to Brunt and everybody that's helped me as along my way.
Hell yeah. And as a special thanks to our loyal listeners, we're giving $10 off your next purchase of $60 or more at bruntworkwear.com. Use discount code BucketTalk10. That's BucketTalk10.